Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I am a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon, and usually I'm coming at you with skincare videos, procedure videos, that kind of thing. But today I am going to be putting a new foundation to the test, and I thought I would take you along with me. So today we are testing out the new Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. And I am also going to be using the new Pat McGrath primer that she launched along with this foundation. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put it on, I'm going to do a full face of makeup, and we are going to do a wear test, check in, and I will give you some final thoughts and let you know how this foundation fares on my normal to dry and dehydrated 45-year-old skin with pigment issues. How does this foundation do? Let's get into the application. Okay, so I am gonna start with the primer. It comes in this packaging and it is 1 fluid ounce, and I did get mine from Selfridges. I ordered a lot of my stuff from Selfridges now, you guys, because I've paid for the whole year of shipping and it is so fast. It's faster than Sephora. It comes to me from England faster than I get stuff from Sephora. And they say to use about a dime size amount and start in the center of your face, work it in with your fingers and move out. Prior to this, I did use my SUCQU. This is what I put on my skin right after I cleanse. Then I did a double dose of the Laneige cream skin. I put this on, I let it soak in for a second, and then I put a little bit more on. That's what I used for my moisturizer. I followed that up with a layer of my Tizo. This is the sunscreen that I talked about in my sunscreen video. This does have silicones in it, you guys. Doesn't bother me in the least, and it is dewy. I find it to be really great for my dry and dehydrated skin, but it's definitely dewy. And I let that set for just a minute, and then I went in with a layer of my Helio Care. This is the sunscreen that I ordered on Amazon that I got from Spain, and it includes Tinosorb. This is the primer. And it's very velvety, you guys. It's very, very velvety and creamy, like a cream gel for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow their instructions, put it in the middle, and I will work it out. Yeah, it feels really nice. It does have hyaluronic acid, and it's supposed to kind of give you a perfected canvas for the foundation. It's interesting. I feel like my skin feels hydrated. It feels smoothed. It feels cool. Like there's something cooling in there, but it's very, very faint. And it feels, I don't know, it feels prepped for foundation. It's actually feels really, really good. Okay, so I am going to apply the foundation. Now, it comes in a box like this. It's absolutely beautiful packaging. Then this is the foundation. It is the color 10, light medium 10. You pull this off and it is a pump. And it is just beautiful packaging. It is extremely weighty. Okay, I'm gonna read to you a little bit about the foundation really quickly. It says that it is a long-wearing, customizable foundation that builds from sheer to medium coverage in a wide range of universal hues that manifest the ultimate sublime skin standard. The coverage is supposed to be medium, the finish is natural, the formulation is a liquid, and it is supposed to be for normal, dry, combination, and oily. So it's supposed to be for everyone. Now, she says that you should pump a few drops and start in the center of your face and use a foundation brush. You can also use your fingers if you'd like to. So for today's video, I am going to go ahead and use the Hourglass. This is the Vanish brush. I really like this little brush, you guys. It's not expensive, and I just love the way that it's angled. It's got the perfect density. It's a great brush. I've had it for years. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump. It's very liquidy, you see? Now, she talks about starting in the middle, but the thing about my pigmentation is I have a lot of it in the outer edges of my face, so I'm not one of those people that can only wear stuff in the middle and then feather it out. So I'll go ahead and now, the interesting thing about this foundation is it does have alcohol as its fourth ingredient. And So the way that I deal with that kind of thing, because the YSL All Hours also had alcohol kind of higher on the ingredient deck, is they're just special occasion formulations for me. I wouldn't be able to wear a foundation that had alcohol that high in the ingredient deck. I wouldn't be able to wear it every single day because of my dry and dehydrated skin. I'd be worried that it might dehydrate my skin a little bit more. But I'm wondering if when combined with her primer, she's trying to mitigate that. I'm not sure, but I don't think that you should have to rely on buying a separate primer to, you know, counteract alcohol in a foundation. This color is a lot better than I actually thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be too peachy. So this is the color Light Medium 10. So this is drying down quite well. There's a tiny, tiny bit of tackiness, but it's very, very faint. But at the same time, it does not feel even in the least bit dry. It definitely feels like a foundation that is probably going to last, but it does not feel tight. Like it feels like it's set, but not in a really dry way. So far so good. Okay, I am going to grab some other makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's been setting for probably about 10 minutes. And I have to say, at first, I thought maybe it was gonna be too dry. I kind of was thinking that it was possibly drying down too much, but now, I don't know, just with just a couple minutes of my skin kind of having an opportunity to kind of meld together with all of my products that I have underneath it, it feels pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to fast forward this, and I will just put what I'm using in on the screen, but I'm going to speed through.
They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. I'll meet you at the hideout, where we can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets, wearing courage like a second skin. The kids are all dying, we're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets, we take what is needed. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can dream all night till the sun rises. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. We live for forever.
Is the completed look. Give you guys a really close up. And it's really interesting because my very first impressions were that it was going to be too dry and then it was going to catch in dry patches. And within about 3 minutes, maybe even 5 at the very, very most, it kind of melded with my skin. I don't know if you can see, but it looks like my skin. It does not look like it's clinging to any of my dry patches, anything. And I don't know if it took it a minute to kind of, you know, come together with the primer, but I'm incredibly impressed right now. And I did put on both powder and cream products. My bronzer was that cream cushion from GUERLAIN, and then I did use GUERLAIN Meteorites as kind of a blush base slash, you know, a little bit of a kind of a mature highlighter. It's gorgeous, gorgeous meteorites. And then I went in with my KALEIDOS blush, which is a cream product, just to kind of see how it plays with all kinds of different products. And so far, so good. Everything looks like it married really well with the foundation. I do want to turn my ring light completely off so that you have an idea of what the color looks like. This room is not very lit up, you guys. So if I didn't have the ring light ever, I would look like I was kind of in a hole, but let's turn that down. So there's my skin without much light in here. So you can see what it covers, what it doesn't cover. So you can kind of see, you can still see a little bit of my freckling in there, but I'm never going to cover that up. I'm not a full coverage type of person. And then when I turn my light back on, just so that I have a little bit of light in here, you can see how that changes it just a little bit. So hopefully that gives you an accurate representation of that shade, that light medium 10. Okay, I will check back in a couple hours. Okay, I am back. It has been several hours and I thought I would do a check-in. I'm actually gonna reapply my lipstick. I have been doing nothing, guys. I have not touched my face, except I was eating some wasabi almonds. I don't know if you guys have had those wasabi almonds. They're so stinking good. And I don't know, a rogue piece of wasabi went straight down my throat. And this eye tried to like weep and I was, you know, oh no, trying to catch it. So if this eye is a little bit rubbed off, that's not the foundation fault. It's the wasabi almonds fault. I have to say that this is one of those foundations that looks better if you have dry skin. It looks better as time goes on. Definitely in the beginning, it looked like skin, but it was a tiny bit more dry than I normally prefer. I mean, I usually go for, you know, full on glow. But as the day has gone on, I definitely think, I hope you guys can tell, I definitely think that my natural oils, which there aren't a lot of those, are starting to come through. But it's holding on to makeup really, really well. And I feel like it is sort of a satin matte. It's not flat in any way. And I actually just think it makes your canvas look kind of perfected. It's a really fantastic foundation. Completely out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting to love this. I was just really wanting to test it because it's new on the market. It's Pat McGrath and all of that stuff. And beyond that, what I'm even more impressed with is this primer. The primer is just fantastic. But it's got a pump. It's like this. Beautiful packaging. This is plastic. It's not glass, but I just think that that is gorgeous. Okay, so let's look at the primer real quick on SEPHORA. So it says that the highlighted ingredients are hyaluronic acid. It says cosmetic filler powder, a coated microsphere powder meant to mimic the smoothness and clarity of ceramic to fill in the look of wrinkles and diffuse light, creating an even and luminous surface that also feels incredibly smooth. I hadn't read that yet, and that is exactly how it felt. It felt smoothed out and almost powdery, but hydrated. It was that primer is definitely different than any primer I have ever used. Now, disclaimer here, I'm not somebody who always wears primers, so it's not like I have tons and tons of experience with primer, but that one is unlike any primer I've ever tried, and I will definitely wear that with all kinds of foundations. I was really impressed by it. Okay, so it is free of parabens, it is water-based, and it's supposed to leave behind a silky soft cloud of matte moisturization. That is exactly what is going on here, matte moisturization. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed. So this is after about 4.5 hours. Now, to be fair, I do have dry and dehydrated skin, so foundation tends to last a little bit longer on me because there's not a lot of oil going on. But this is not going anywhere. I will say that I think next time I will use a little bit less. I think less is more with this foundation. And I do think that light layers are the way to go if you want to build it up to a medium. I don't think I could get this to a full coverage because I think it would end up looking cakey and dry, but I don't think it's supposed to be meant to be a full coverage. It says that it's silky, weightless formulation imparts a filtered, soft, focused luminosity. That's exactly what I see. It's not very often that what they describe on Sephora or in a brand is actually what you end up seeing. I'm super impressed. I'm excited to wear this foundation some more. So I hope that this review was helpful. I hope the wear test was helpful. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let me know if you're thinking about trying this foundation or this primer. And also, what would be really helpful for people in the comments, if you decide you're going to get this foundation or you have gotten it, will you let people know what color you got and maybe for reference what color you are in another foundation that's commonly used or in MAC? That would really help people out. When you got to shop online, it's the hardest thing is picking out your shade for sure. So let's try and help each other out in the comment section. That would be awesome. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.